My story is about loneliness and depression at Christmas. Let's face it, it happens. I know it's supposed to be the time of joy and happiness, but for some people, it's the very opposite. I know you're out there. It happened to me in 1992. I was going through my first divorce, so I was new to it. And I was very depressed and lonely and angry, and I didn't know who I was. I wanted to get away, find myself. And my parents phoned me, and they said, you should come home for Christmas. Really, we want you to come home. And I told them, I'm going away to find myself. And they said, why would you want to do that? We know who you are. You're our divorced child. Come spend time with your happily married siblings. It'll be fun. So I found this travel agent, and I said, just get me out of Vancouver, get me away from everybody. And he found me a trip to Israel, and I thought, that's fantastic. Sounds exotic. 1992, just after the Gulf War. It'll be like I'm Indiana Jones. I'm sure I'll have a fun time. So I get to Israel. I'm all by myself, and I find that actually I'm still lonely and depressed, even though I'm seeing some pretty fantastic things. Might have been some of the things I was seeing. Jesus' tomb, the Wailing Wall, the Dead Sea. I did meet these three bearded guys that were working in the Peace Corps, and they had just left some country in Africa. They had to get away. It was some civil unrest, and they were afraid for their lives, so they went to Israel too. And I thought, what a better setup. I mean, here I can hang out with the Peace Corps guys. And they told me that we should meet in Bethlehem on Christmas Eve. And all I had to do was go to the center, where it was run by Jesuit priests in Jerusalem, tell them I'm Catholic, tell them my parish, and you get a ticket. You get to go in at the church at Bethlehem where Jesus was born. Fantastic. I'm not Catholic, so I thought, how hard could this be? I mean, I work in theater. I can be Catholic. So I go in the big lineup, to see the Jesuit, and I have my answers. I am Catholic, yes, and I think, well, a parish would be St. Paul's in Vancouver. I mean, why not? That sounds Catholic. And I go down the lineup, and when I get there, the Jesuit priest looks at me, and he's a very short, balding man, very, very tough looking, and he says, "Are you Catholic?" I go, yes, of course I am. Yeah, I'm Catholic. And he goes, name of parish. And I go, well, St. Paul's, Vancouver, BC, Canada. He goes, name of parish priest. Being a hockey fan, the only thing I could think of was Frank Mahovlich. He goes, Mahovlich. And I go, yeah, originally from Toronto. Mahovlich. I get my ticket stamped, and I get to go to Bethlehem on Christmas Eve. I've actually kept the ticket. It's from 1992. I feel terrible because I had to lie to get this. I told my father later on that, and he's a Baptist minister, I told him I had to lie my way in to see where the baby Jesus was born on Christmas Eve, and he said, you shouldn't do that. But if you have to, it's okay to lie to Catholics. And I met these guys in Bethlehem on Christmas Eve. Bethlehem, the guys from the Peace Corps, really good guys, I thought. But it wasn't that much fun. I was still kind of lonely and depressed, and they were very quiet. And here's the thing. If you can't find happiness, in Bethlehem, Christmas Eve, with three bearded guys that look like Jesus, you're in trouble. And so I decided to part company with them, And I ended up in Jaffa, which was just south of Tel Aviv. And I met this Israeli soldier, a very nice woman. I was leaning on something I should have been leaning on. She was very stern. She had a machine gun. I thought that was great. And she was going through a breakup herself, so she was depressed and lonely too. And I thought, what could be better? Two lonely, depressed people, and now we have an automatic weapon. And we're in a dangerous country. And she decided to take me out to these crazy bars in Jerusalem, and these are kind of wacky places where they're like dugout caverns, like they're bat caves underneath the restaurant, where all the soldiers would go hang out, and dance like crazy. Now, this was a time in 1992 where you needed to have your weapon at the ready because Israel was surrounded by a lot of angry countries who all wanted to see their demise. And so here I go to these clubs, and these soldiers are packed in there, and they all got their weapons. They got their grenades, they got their rocket launchers, they got their machine guns, but they're all dancing like crazy. It's a mosh pit, and they're slamming together. They're dropping from ropes above, And here I am with my date, and I'm like a good Canadian boy who's hardly ever seen a gun, and I'm like astonished. I'm, what is going on? What if one of the grenades pops off? We're gonna die, right? And she looked at me and said, "This is our situation. This is how we live. This is it. This is Israel." And I learned something that day, and that is, shoulder your weapon and dance if you are lonely at Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Bushkowsky.